Welcome back to another video. I'm Felix Rome and I'm out on safari once again. In this video I'm going to explain more about how I set my camera up for wildlife photography, as well as hopefully finding some cool subjects and hopefully get some great photos. Let's see what happens. Sadly, there's not really going to be a sunrise this morning. There's a thick bank of cloud to the east, but at least the west is looking quite clear. So while we're scanning and checking for animals, what I often do is just take a picture outside, have a look on the back of the camera to see if it's correctly exposed. This means that if we suddenly stumble upon something, I know my camera is either perfectly exposed or very nearly perfect, which means you can get the action straight away without having to worry about settings. While I do this, I always try and make sure I increase my shutter speed throughout the day as the light gets stronger to hopefully freeze some action, and drop the ISO. And in the morning, I start off at about 200th, maybe 1/60th of a second, ISO 2500 and an aperture of f2.8. It's not ideal, but it means I can get some motion frozen if an animal is walking, hopefully with a beautiful sunrise. Ironically not today, but normally there is. And f2.8 is great because I'm still able to shoot low light situations. And if I'm a little bit away from them, then there's going to be quite nice depth of field. If they're really close, then it does get a bit challenging to try and get, most of the face of a lion or a hippo in focus. But at least then I can get a nice sunrise shot with an animal in the foreground. And as I say, throughout the drive, I increase my shutter speed and aperture and drop the ISO to accommodate for the rising levels of light. We've been driving along trying to find something to photograph, ideally not lions, purely because I've done quite a lot of lion videos now, but we have just stumbled upon the marsh pride, and there's a beautiful male sitting up, and it's just too hard to resist, so we're going to have to stay here for a little bit and see if we can get a photo. So we've been with this pride of lions for a little while now. The male is just asleep. What I did, I put on my 300 because I wanted to try and get a nice portrait. The background and everything isn't particularly nice, so then using the wider lens like the 70-200 wouldn't have really worked for me. But put this on, the light, wasn't very good because of the thick cloud to the east. So I was in 500th of a second at f4 ISO 640, which isn't too bad. I might have got a nice but very simple portrait. It's not really the kind of picture I want to get, but I thought for this video sometimes you just got to go for the obvious, which is a lion portrait. But I think we'll leave these guys and see if we can find something else. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Great start to the morning.
Yeah, good start in the morning.
Yeah, well found. Okay, let's go.
Let's go and try some other thing.
Yeah, perfect. So that was great with those lions. They were actually the Marsh Pride, weren't they?
Yeah, Marsh Pride. Yeah.
And the male was half tail.
Yeah, half tail.
Yeah, and he lost half of his tail from a hyena.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, when he was young though, when he was
When
a
he
cub.
was young, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I tried to explain, but there were other people there. I didn't actually use the 70-200. I used the 300mm. Tried to get just a nice, simple portrait. I think it worked out quite well. The light wasn't so good. Typically, it has just burst through now, but it's going to disappear into more cloud above it. We're now in an open area. This is called Paradise, and we're going to try and find something other than lions. And also, while we carry on going, I'm still going to be doing that, which is pointing the camera out to the landscape and checking that my camera settings are all perfect for that particular moment in time. Including now when the sun is bursting through. Do that because you never know what might pop up out of the grass. There might be a cheetah hiding there or a serval, so you always want to be ready. And then again, when the sun goes up into the clouds, do it again. Make sure that the settings are perfect and not underexposed because of the sun was just out. Now it's not, it will be darker. But yeah, we'll drive along, see what we can find, and then I'll talk about kind of what lenses I use and actually which ones are my most favorite. But yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, Coris.
Most welcome.
Well, that was lovely. We drove around, we saw some nice things. I didn't take any pictures. I just didn't really see any compositions or anything that worked, but lovely elephants and some buffalo. And what were those birds in the big flock?
They called the Quelea.
Quelea.
Yeah.
Quelea birds, they were great.
Yeah.
Especially when they kind of all moved at the same time. That was lovely.
Yeah.
But as I said, this video is more about how I set my camera up when I'm on safari. And a lot of people have been asking me what lenses do I use. So I'll start with the wide end. I have the 24-70, and I mainly use this for obviously like landscapes and things, but as well as if an animal comes really close to the car, especially elephants, this is great for that. If there's beautiful storm clouds above and they come close to the Jeep, then I'll always put this on. It's the older version, it's still pretty good, lovely and sharp. Then my big lens is the 300 2.8. Relative to most wildlife photographers, this is not a long lens. 300 is what a lot of people would say is the right at the bottom end of what you should have, but I don't really want a super big heavy lens, and I find that this is absolutely perfect. It's my favorite one. I use it a lot of the time. This is great for if I want to get a portrait of a lion or something like that, but also if I see there's potential for a hunt or some action, I'll put this on as well. I also use this for birds and things like that, and yeah, very fast, very good, love this. Then the lens that I've been using a lot this second stint has been the 70-200. Absolutely love this lens. It's great for putting the animal into its environment, but without it being like too wide, like this one, the 24-70. It means I can also punch in and try and get a nice close-up shot if I need to. The versatility of this lens is fantastic. And I also use the Nikon D850. Yep, it's good. There's probably lots of review videos about all of the stuff that I use. It takes pictures. They look pretty good, so I'm happy with them. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful, and if you're on safari now, you have some idea of what to do with your camera, how to set it up and all of that. But next week we'll be back to normal. And yeah, thank you again, Coris.
Yeah.
Another great drive.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we can get some good pictures next time.
Yeah, next time maybe. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, man. Well, thank you very much, and until then,
Yeah.
have a good one.
Yeah.